Just take a look at this guy here, this piglin here. This has started to become a little bit of thorn in my side over the last couple of weeks. So a few weeks ago, this guy cropped up on our line from somewhere, sitting in a minecart and just basically getting in the way. And I normally try to keep him down at the spawn town end of this whole line, because at my end it becomes a little bit difficult to jump out the minecart if he's there. But also sometimes he'll also bounce back if you're riding along it and cause you to fly the opposite direction. But someone for the last week or two has been sending him down to us, which is a bit of a nightmare actually. It's causing a bit of a problem. I don't know whether they're just having a bit of a prank or a joke or something like that, but it is causing us a problem. And we're going to have to really get rid of him and work out what to do with him at some point. But he is becoming a bit of a nuisance. But we decided to come down here to the Nether Hub and to help LadyBecks out with a bit more of the work here. So you remember a couple of weeks ago we dug out a whole of the whole section of the wing, and we thought we'd come back here and help out with the top as well. LadyBecks was trying to clear the top bit because there were ghasts spawning up here, causing all sorts of problems. And unfortunately, I didn't quite grab the recording of this, but there was a point while I was clearing this out, we had a ghast actually spawn up here. I went running towards it, towards this ghast with this sword of mine and whacking the fireballs back at him. And as I did so, LadyBecks then shot me from behind, which is about the third time I've heard LadyBecks doing this in the last couple of weeks. So I'm starting to think these aren't accidents anymore. But anyway, look at how far we got. Look how far we got. Yeah, so far this has been absolutely brilliant. There's loads there. But talking about LadyBecks, she came by and visited the shop earlier on with Mighty Beard. They had with a bit of an idea.
Says on the outside he's going to be taking it down.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, and it's a cool looking shop. It's a shame.
Oh, and he's in?
Is he in? Holy cow.
Yeah. Let's walk in.
But yeah, look, store closing soon.
Oh, hi guys.
Compete with tubing. Hi.
Hey guys, how you doing?
How you
You're
doing?
right. Welcome to Fun Guys. Well, while it's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, why? I saw the signs. Why are you closing?
Well, commercially, we can't compete with the dupers. So there are people using TNT duping to actually do their farming, whereas what I do is I do it naturally. I actually have a cactus farm? No, sorry, a creeper farm full of gunpowder and stuff, and use that to make my TNT to actually use my blast chamber. But I can't compete with those that are using TNT duping, so I just can't commercially compete. So at the end of the day, it's once I sold this stock, then yeah. So it's the larger firms.
We saw protesters.
Yeah, there's these larger firms that are doing all this sort of stuff, so we're sort of feeling being commercially squeezed out of the market a little bit. But yeah,
right.
You know, these bigger firms, it happens.
Shame. For shame. Duping in Minecraft. Good grief. What is this world coming to?
Yeah, I'll say you're not alone. I don't know if you noticed, but there are some protesters out.
I heard a bit of a racket.
Yeah,
I heard of a bit of a racket coming over from that way. It's a bit of a strange thing that's coming over. I'll have to see what the protests are all about and everything. I'll pop over there. You say there's a lot of protesters there. Who are they protesting in front of?
The two skyscrapers over there.
Oh wow. Okay, well it seems like people aren't particularly happy, are they?
No, and I'll say we're pretty much in the same boat. Like, we were just looking at the greenhouse. Just to talk about maybe lowering prices in hopes to compete. My wool and bone block shop, like, I'm not selling anything, and yeah, it just seems like all of us little guys are just being driven out.
There's got to be something we could do about that. Any ideas?
I mean, maybe with our powers combined, we can fight the evil bad corporation. Maybe.
Might be.
I mean, it makes more sense, especially you're doing things the proper way. You're not using the dupers. You're grinding for everything that you're getting. So it's really it is organic and proper. I feel like I'm doing the same thing with my stuff.
Yeah.
Clean is good.
It sounds like a thing. It sounds like an idea. I mean, there's got to be some way to sort of pull together our resources. This place isn't safe without at night time either, is it? Hang on, let's put down a quick bed. Hang on. We know how safe Spawn Town is at night. That's something that needs to be sorted as well.
Yeah.
There we are.
Sunny and I actually covered one of the local shops with carpet. The shop doesn't belong to either of us, but we covered it with carpet anyways.
We see that's what we need around here is a more sort of communal spirit, isn't it? It's a bit more something that works together for the greater good of the community rather than just for the greed of bigger corporations. I think that's what's needed.
Yeah, we should do that. We should be the ones that step up and say we should be better.
I agree.
I agree as well. I mean, that sounds like a fantastic idea. Like a little collective almost.
Ooh.
That's a good name. Maybe.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, could use that. I like that.
And
Yeah.
then we can just help each other out. Like anything that needs help or anything that, we can't quite figure out on our own or whatever, we'll be there for each other.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think we form a collective, as he said, the collective.
Yeah.
Be nice,
Alright,
and we do
cool.
nice to do things for the community and give back organically. That's
Yeah, so I would hold off your thought on closing this business. I mean, I think again, if we work together, especially if we can get, a few of us together, we'll keep each other in business for sure.
That sounds like maybe that could be a plan. Yeah. Okay. I'll think again about the shop. And maybe we'll keep it open and see how it goes.
All right, sounds good.
And we'll have to get together and actually do some proper planning and work out how we're gonna do this venture forward.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. Well, great. Well,
Awesome.
it was a pleasure.
No, pleasure. I was glad you guys popped in. Do you wanna buy some bullocks? Warp stems? Only 3 diamond a stack? I'll do you guys a
unfortunately,
discount.
I didn't bring my wallet with
I
me.
did not either. But we'll definitely have to work out something with the warped roots and the
Sure. I'm sure we can work out a good deal.
Yeah,
flower
awesome.
beds.
Awesome. Nice to see you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
That was better than I expected.
And yeah, so we're up here at the IDAV community, our airship that overlooks the whole of Spawn Town and also the shopping district. And what a great idea that is, the collective. So we've now joined into a sort of partnership with Mighty Beard and LadyBecks, creating some sort of community thing. I think we're still fleshing out the details, but the idea is in order to try and promote local businesses, help develop ourselves, and also just basically giving back to the community, especially when there are like these 2 big corporations. You can see them right there in front of us. It's the Mighty Shelly Corp and the Evil and Anvil there, and they're causing basically the market to stagnate and crash because they're just dominating the market and preventing anyone else from making any diamonds. It's a problem, so we want to try and sort of balance it out a little bit there. That's the idea of the collective anyway. We're going to try and do things to support smaller traders. We're going to flesh out the details, a lot more to come here, but they were right. Look, there's protesters down here. Actually, is that Mighty Hyde protesting outside of his own tower there? That was a bit of an odd one there. But all these signs here as well, and one talking about they hate monopolies but scramble is okay. Don't know who spelled that. That's terrible spelling. But yeah. And then if we come over here to the Evil and Anvil Tower, yep, there is also protesters sitting outside of here as well, all sort of marching up here with all these different signs here, sort of saying no to greed and everything else as well. But these towers, both the towers, are actually really nice looking towers. I will be honest here, and the guys are absolutely fantastic guys. But yeah, they do have pretty much cornered the market. Making it very difficult for anyone else to actually make any diamonds at all on the server at the moment. So, yeah, there needs to be something done about this. Something that's going to just sort of balance the odds a little bit. But, anyway, let's return back to the DrakenSpire. Always weird when we go back and editing these, because I always see this, how it looks then before I started doing the work that you're about to see in this time lapse. that. Look at how we've built that together. That's managed to enable me to actually extend that sort of gothic walkway that goes over to our air harbour and connects it over to the DrakenSpire there. We still got to do a little bit of work on where it connects up with the tower itself, but I'm really happy with where it's progressing to. And then down in here we've got all these great archways as well, with this balcony around the outside. Gives it this really sort of kind of gothic feeling that I quite like in these sort of builds and designs here. I've still got to do the archways on the central pillars, but that's coming on well. But thinking about the collective and the discussions that we were having earlier with LadyBecks and Mighty Beard, and I was sitting there thinking, well, hang on a minute. If we're talking about organic stuff, I grow quite a bit of organic stuff. We've got this big kelp farm here, but the thing with the kelp farm we've got here at the moment, you can see there's only 4 furnaces lit. So even though we are producing quite a bit of kelp, it's only enough really to actually have 4 furnaces working at once. Nonetheless, over time, we have nearly filled up the entire system that fuels it. This means when this chest is full, anything surplus is going to be free for us to be able to actually use on our own furnace projects, and actually we could possibly sell it as an alternative to coal over in the shopping district, a proper organic design. But we could do with actually upping the actual production rates. So that probably means building another 2 tanks, similar to the tanks that are up above, but it's just a question of where to put them. But looking at this, I've also been wondering about what to do with the bottom bit underneath the tanks where it connects with the spire here. So you can see there's a little gap just underneath, and I thought, well, actually, we could build the farm in there. The only problem is, this is all the redstone I had left. 49 redstone dust is not going to get us very far when we have to build a stupid amount of pistons and observers and also do the circuitry behind. Not that it's a complex circuitry, but it does require a lot of redstone dust. So with that in mind, bear in mind, we decided we weren't going to try and do too much spending anymore in the shopping centre, in the shopping district. So instead of buying the redstone dust, I thought we'll have to go back and do something that we haven't done since pretty much the beginning of the series. So in the early episodes, we did a couple of sessions of this, and you may remember that if you've been following the series for a while, but we've had to go back down into our mine, into our little branch mine, and go and mine some resources up. Now, I'm not a big fan of doing lots and lots of mining, but every now and then it can be quite beneficial to go down there and grab your resources. Sooner or later, I think I'm going to have to build myself a witch farm. I'm going to have to find ourselves a free witch hut somewhere on the server and build ourselves a witch farm to get redstone. But in the meantime, this is what we got from an hour's mining session, which I think is pretty fantastic going, actually. There's a load of coal there as well. We used those for torches. But I also gained a load of diamonds as well, which was really beneficial and really helpful as well to have that. I didn't manage to record all of this bit that we're about to see, but this is me constructing the kelp farm. And the kelp farm, we dug it right the way down underneath where the first kelp farm was. And we built just basically 2 tanks either side there. Unfortunately, I forgot to record the rest of it, so that's as far as I got with the recording of the construction of it. But here's the finished product. You can see there, we built the 2 tanks in the floor, and they go all the way down there underneath. It doesn't interfere with anything there. And these are based on the design that actually Cubfan does a tutorial for, so I'll link that down below. And you can see these 2 tanks on either side. They sort of drop the kelp up to the top and put some over into the bottom channel. That bottom channel then feeds this pipeline you can see on the outside here, and the pipe comes back into the building and drops all the kelp into the top tank, or into the channel in the top tank. Can you remember we got this wide channel so that the kelp flows over the top of that corridor, and so it just drops the kelp on there as well, which basically, with that introduction, that now doubles our kelp production rates. And yes, you can see we now have 8 furnaces lit. We are now at full efficiency on the kelp farm, which is really beneficial. Here's something I love as well. We don't often get to see the darkness on the server itself, but when we do, look at how lovely those glow as well. Those little crystals underneath those floating islands there. But I'm really pleased with the way this is all turning out so far. Gonna have to do a bit of work on the roof here. It looks a little bit plain. Might do some like rooftop gardens up here, but I'm gonna have to see how the structures sort of form around it as well that are coming off the towers. But I'll probably build some like little raised flower beds and everything else like that, just to pretty it up, so it breaks it up, so it's not just one big plain oak floor at the top there, and get that sorted over. And then as we come over to here again, I love the way this is starting to look. I think I'm really happy with the way the DrakenSpire is starting to turn out. But I decided I'd start another farm as well, and that was, I decided I wanted to do a Nether Wart farm, mainly because I couldn't find anywhere selling Nether Wart in the shopping district. And so I got myself all prepped. I got myself my elytra. I hate using the elytra in the Nether because I've lost so many elytra in the Nether. So I got myself prepped with all these sort of resources, expecting to spend quite a bit of time hunting for it. Now, this is the real time it actually took for me to find the Nether Wart. So where you saw me take off a second ago, that was straight outside of our portal that leads into the Nether. And I didn't realise it, but this bastion is right on our doorstep. I just flew out. I was just flying out to see if I could find a bastion or a Nether fortress, and just came straight across this, right next door to where we are. Now, unfortunately, someone's already been here before. I checked the chests afterwards, and they were empty, which I think is a bit rude. The fact that this is right next to our portal, and they came and basically nicked all the bits out from inside of there. But it's fine. What I was really looking for, as I said, was the Nether Wart, and thankfully, look at this. This is how quick it was from entering the Nether to actually finding the Nether Wart. I could not have got a better result if I had tried any other way. That is perfect. So we got these Nether Wart that we can use then to build a new farm, keeping up with our organic designs. And here we are building it. Now this design, I've not built a Nether Wart farm before, but it's in essence very similar to the way that I have previously built on other servers. Farms for sort of semi-automatic farms for wheat and carrots and potatoes. And basically we have water dispensers at the top, and we have staggered platforms, and the water just flows down the platforms and pushes everything to hoppers in the very bottom platform, where it then collects it all up, and then you have to just come back and then replant it. So semi-automatic in the fact that it will harvest automatically, but the planting you still have to do manually. And yet you can do this with soil and sort of make sure that as long as you've got some water on those levels or in the close enough space of the blocks, then you should be able to do the same with the other things here. But it's even easier to build this for a Nether Wart farm, as it turns out. So there's the first couple of pieces of Nether Wart that we picked up from the Nether, so we're going to have to cultivate that and grow that. And here's the other thing, talking about the Nether that we built. So I didn't show this because it was a bit of a messy build, and I'm still experimenting with how it's going to work. But yeah, we had to do it. We've built ourselves a little piglin trading farm here that we can just press the button here. It dispenses gold. It's supposed to then redispense gold every time it senses an item going through the hoppers, but it doesn't seem to always do it, so I might come back and put a clock on there. But I've been Draken. This is the DrakenGameWerks. Thank you very much for joining us, because this has been an absolutely jam-packed... Wait a second. That's no good. Did you see that background then? What? I can't turn around and end the video with a background like that. These vines! Right, now I had turned around and set these vines up coming off these so that they'd be nice and trim and that they wouldn't turn around and come down, and the vines have decided to grow around where I put the string. So I've had to go up and go back and do a bit of gardening, it seems. They've grown themselves massively overgrown. The whole base is starting to look overgrown in the centre here. Well, that's no good. So we came back up here. As you can see, it's actually pretty easy. You just climb back up the vine, find the height you want to chip the vine off at, and then just place a string, and that's it. It will just stop it from growing any further, because the string will stop it from growing, but it will also cut off the vine there, and anything below it obviously gets destroyed when you destroy that piece of the vine. But yeah, we weren't able to end it as we had before. But it got everywhere. You know, it's not just coming off these, it was also coming off the central elevator. Now, we did put them on the central elevator, but as you can see, yeah, we had to trim it back there because it was actually covering up the entrances in. LadyBecks mentioned that she saw it on one of our residential buildings outside as well. They had overgrown one of the doorways. So we're going to have to be a little bit more careful with our planning on how we deal with vines when we plant them around the base. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. But hopefully that gardening has sorted it out. So with that in mind, now with a better backdrop, with things all trimmed up and looking a bit nicer, thank you very much for joining me. I've been Draken. This is the DrakenGameWerks. Don't forget to sub if you've enjoyed the video below, and don't forget to check out the other members of the server. They're going to be listed in the description below as well. Take it easy, all. Have a good day.